Hi, it's Randy Williams with the Debt Coach Credit Counseling Service. How you doing today? Today we're going to learn how to increase our credit scores. It's a question I get all the time here at a Debt Coach. I need to increase my credit score so I can qualify for a mortgage. Or I need to increase my credit score so I can get a better rate on a car or even buy a car. Well, credit scores are pretty fickle, so what we need to do is figure out exactly what they consist of and exactly what you can do to take steps to improve your score from here on out. And I'll give you an opportunity to go over a few of those things together and we'll figure that out. Now, for starters, let's talk about what a credit score really is. The FICO credit scoring system changed a while back, and it's basically consisted of 5 different elements. 35% of it is your history, basically how much you owe and the time that you voted on. The length of history. 30% is definitely debt weight, utilization, basically how much you owe based off your limits. 10% of it's new credit. If you have anything new in the last few years, that can kind of hinder your score a little bit. And of course, they got 15% is history, length of credit. So if you've had credit cards or kind of debt that you've had, over 10 to 15 years, at least 10 years, you start getting credit for having length of time. And of course, when you hit 20 years, you get the maximum amount of that 15% kick for having that extra stuff open that length of time. A lot of us don't open it, but if you've had a credit card for 20 years, you'd be surprised you might have a little higher credit score than some people because you've had the same account open for a while. And of course, the last one is basically what they call mix. Mix is if you in your part of your credit score is 10% is mix, and what that is if you have like a house payment, installment loans, and credit cards, you're kind of using the whole spectrum of the credit base. They give you kind of an extra 10% boost in your credit score. None of these are really what we want to concentrate on increasing our credit, except for probably 2 of them. 2 of them is probably what we're going to look at. So if you're looking at your credit score and you need to increase your credit score by about 15, 20%, or 20 points, you might want to take a look at how much you owe. It's usually the key. When you owe money out there, I hate to say this, the credit scores take into account how much you owe based on how much you're able to borrow. And that's going to be, and we talked about your utilization debt weight, and that's what it is. It's your debt weight. And what debt weight is take all your credit limits, take your balances, and divide them up. And if you're above 30%, you're going to take a hit on your credit score. That's what's going to happen. The higher you are, the lower your score takes a hit. So let's say you have a $1,000 credit card out there and you currently owe $800 on it. That's 80% debt weight. It's clearly understood right there that you're going to take a hit in your score because you're having a hard time managing this account. Credit cards should never carry a balance higher than 30% of the credit line. Never carry a score that much higher. Because if you're carrying a balance 30% of your credit line every month or higher, you're basically paying a lot of fees for starters. You're paying a lot of interest for others, but you're also starting to show that you're having a hard time handling your debt. Credit cards are designed to be used monthly and paid off monthly. They have a nice little feature that allows you to separate and make monthly payments to it. Your credit card company would love for you to make monthly payments to it because that's just it. That's where they get their nice interest rate and all their good money. But if you handle the credit card properly and the way it's reported to the credit report and the way your utilization is, you're not supposed to carry above 30% because you'll start taking a hit on your score. So let's start there. Let's take a look at all your credit cards. Let's add them up. Are you above 30%? Take your limits, add them together, take your balances, add them together, divide up. Are we above 30%? Because if we're above 30%, there's your answer right there. You want to change your credit score? Get out of debt. If you're way above 30%, call a Debt Coach Credit Counseling Service. My name is Randy Williams. My phone number is 888-767-9155. And I'm able to lower your interest rates and lower your payments to fit your budget. We are a nonprofit credit counseling service, and that way we can help you get out of debt and get control of your credit to get your credit down, to get your credit scores back up. But if you're looking for a quick fix, take a look at your balances right now, figure out where your 30% number is, and get under it. Stay under it. Give your credit report a couple months to show that you're under it, and your score will rise based on your situation. Now I'm back. Sorry about that. But another thing to keep in mind that can also help you in this situation is your history. A lot of people think that credit history is based on the last 2 years. And I know the credit report shows the last 7, sometimes in the bankruptcy the last 10, it'd be on the credit report, but that's not what we're really looking at. The credit score is looking at the last 24-month pay history. And that's what it's trying to base its situation off of, and it's basing a score off of. So in the last 24 months, if you had a 30-day anywhere in the last 24 months, that's going to affect your credit score. The further it gets closer to the 24-month to fall off the thing, and 25th month it's gone, the closer you get to that point, the higher your score rises from that situation. So let's say during this period you missed a couple payments, you wound up 60 days delinquent on a credit card, but you got it cleaned back up and straightened back out. It's a time thing now. What you got to do is let that history for the last 24 months figure out a way to fall off your credit score and get you to where you need to be. Now, let's say in the same reverse situation that we don't have any history in the last 24 months. This is something I'm running a lot lately. People just don't have any credit. You know what I mean? They paid their bills off, they got out of credit, they got out of debt, and they did the right thing in life. They didn't go back into it. There's nothing wrong with that. But your credit reports and credit scores are based on, and they're based on having a 24-month pay history to be able to read. So if you have no history right now, that's your problem. I highly recommend, there's just some credit unions out there that do things like credit builder loans. There's secure credit cards you can open up to be able to start a credit trade lines and everything. Just remember the 30% rule. So if you get a $300 credit line, $300 credit limit, you don't spend above $90. Sound good? All right. So that way we get the credit rating out of it, and it works for us. Because the couple trade lines in the last 24 months is going to increase your credit score, or at least give you a credit score to something to base it off of. So that's another issue. Those are really the two main things that affect a credit score. It's your last 24-month history, how you paid your bills, or are you paying bills because you don't have any. That can affect your credit score, and your debt weight. If you're above 30% carrying balances and going forward, that can affect your credit score. Those are the two big things for a quick fix solve in credit. Now we're going to talk about collections. Collections is there. Yes, collections do exist in this world. If you did not pay your bills or your cable bill or your electric bill or anything in that caliber someday in your life, and it winds up on your credit report as a collection, that affects your credit score every time. The only things that do not affect your credit score are medical bills. One of the things FICO did change back in 2009 and 10 is they got rid of the medical bills situation, because medical bills wind up in your credit report faster than your health spend. So it's kind of really terrible to have them as collections dragging your score down. Now, in the same breath, if all your credit is nothing but medical bills, that your credit score is not going to look all that good because you had no other trade lines in the 24 months, give it a history to base itself off of, or you just have too high of debt weight. Either or can affect everything you do, because if your debt weight's really high on your credit cards and stuff, and you're carrying some medical bills and some collections, they do play in together. If your debt weight is less than 30% and you got medical bills, it's not affecting your score. I know that's weird, but the higher you are above 30% on your debt, it's basically telling the industry that you're having problems. And the higher you get, the least likely they're going to help you. And the more likely you're going to get denied, which is something they didn't have in place before 2009. You wind up with 3 to 4 different credit cards at the same place. Next thing you know, you're filing bankruptcy on 60 grand in credit card debt because you didn't solve the problem. You just prolonged it. Nowadays, you got to face it. You got to face it head up. So getting our credit score up. Let's talk about the two main ones again. Last 24-month history, must have something cycling in the last 24, preferably 2 trade lines in the last 24 months. For a mortgage loan, you actually need 3 trade lines in the last 24 months. You need to get some debt established. If you have too much debt, you need to bring your credit debt down under the 30% limit. So that way it looks like you can handle your debt. And the more it looks like you can handle your debt, the better your credit score is. Hence the fact you get a higher credit score. And of course, if you have any collections out there, you need to get them cleared up. Any judgments, collections, anything on your credit report that's not medical needs to be a zero balance, or otherwise it does hurt your credit score. So if you really want to figure out what's causing your credit score problems, I got a simple solution for you. And it doesn't cost you a dime. All you need to do is go to annualcreditreport.com. That's annualcreditreport.com. Don't fall for the little link out there that pretends to be them. Make sure you type in annualcreditreport.com and you're able to pull all 3 of your credit reports absolutely free. That's the site you want to be on. There is a fake one out there that's stealing from people, so make sure you avoid it. If you need a link sent to you for this, just reach out to me by email at randy@adebtcoach.org, and I'll send you the link to Annual Credit Report, and you can just go ahead and get your credit reports pulled. And if you want me to help you go over them together, I'll be more than happy to do that too. We do not charge for that. Credit report reviewing and educating people is absolutely free. It's something we provide here because I think everybody needs to understand their credit report, and you don't need to be charged to learn how to do that. So if you want me to help you with that, I'd be more than happy to do so. So go to annualcreditreport.com and pull your credit report. Now, credit reports are kind of territorial. If you're living around Kentucky, Ohio, and the Midwest, try to get your Experian credit report. If you're out west, go for TransUnion, and if you're down south, go for your whatever they call it, Expedia, or whatever the fancy name is for that one nowadays. But Experian's your main one around here, so just make sure you get your Experian report or call me, and I'll be more than happy to help you with that. Increasing your credit score is actually just a little bit of discipline, making sure you got your numbers correct, making sure you got the right trade lines going, and you'll manipulate the score high enough to where you can get what you need and get your interest rates where you want it to not being that high. To learn more about this, or if you have any questions or concerns, please reach out to Randy at adebtcoach.org, or call me at 888-767-9155. I promise you, your answers are waiting for you. Have a blessed day.